Just in, Prince William refuses Starmer, and Britain is now facing a historic royal crisis unlike anything seen in modern times. What happened inside Kensington Palace has sent shockwaves through government, the monarchy, and global markets, and tonight, the truth is erupting into public view. Prince William's refusal didn't just challenge Prime Minister Keir Starmer, it triggered a constitutional earthquake shaking the very foundations of Britain. This story is unfolding fast, and you need to hear every detail. Before we continue, like this video, share it everywhere, and subscribe so you never miss breaking updates like this. Britain is standing on the edge of a historic confrontation, one so explosive that insiders say it could change the monarchy, the government, and the nation itself. The tension is unlike anything seen in modern politics. This isn't just a disagreement between elected officials and a royal family, it's a challenge to centuries of constitutional practice, where tradition and political authority have always existed in a delicate balance. For decades, the British system has relied on the monarchy staying above political frays, while Parliament governs. Now, for the first time in generations, that line has been tested, leaving citizens, politicians, and global observers questioning the very foundations of governance in the United Kingdom. It all began yesterday morning, deep inside Kensington Palace, where Prince William made a decision no heir to the throne has dared to make in nearly a century. Sources inside the palace describe an atmosphere of calm determination, but also a tension that could be cut with a knife. Advisors whispered nervously, sensing that history was about to unfold in real time. No one had anticipated such a direct confrontation with the sitting Prime Minister. Even senior royal aides admitted they had never witnessed such clarity and decisiveness from the prince in political matters, a domain traditionally avoided by the monarchy. And yet, the stakes were enormous. This was not just a symbolic refusal, it had the potential to shake the very political and economic structures of Britain. At 11:43 a.m., Prime Minister Keir Starmer delivered an urgent request. He wanted an immediate closed-door meeting with Prince William. The reason was extremely sensitive. Behind the palace walls, aides carried letters with precise, carefully measured language, each word designed to persuade or pressure the heir apparent. The government needed royal endorsement for a controversial reform package that would touch millions of citizens' lives. Housing policy, land rights, and crown estate management were all at the center of this debate. Starmer's urgency reflected not just political ambition, but also growing pressure from within his own party. For him, securing the prince's approval was not optional, it was a critical step in legitimizing policies that had already begun to provoke intense public backlash. Sources say Starmer's letter was unusually blunt for a request addressed to an heir to the throne. The wording was described as forceful, direct, and even confrontational by senior insiders. It suggested that the monarchy had a role to play in demonstrating relevance in modern Britain, implying that failure to participate could be seen as disengagement or even obstruction. Such language broke centuries of convention. The monarchy is expected to remain impartial, a neutral observer of political processes. To suggest otherwise was akin to challenging an unwritten law. The letter alone sparked unease among senior palace advisors, some of whom feared that even reading it aloud could trigger a constitutional incident. William's response was equally direct, and even more shocking. Delivered through his private secretary, his message stated, "The Prince of Wales respectfully declines to involve the Crown in active political advocacy." 23 words that detonated like a constitutional bomb. The simplicity and firmness of the refusal left no room for negotiation. It was a statement of principle, a reminder of centuries of royal precedent, and a clear warning to anyone who might consider overstepping traditional boundaries. In one short sentence, Prince William asserted that the monarchy's role is to serve the nation without becoming entangled in political battles, a reminder of why Britain's system has endured for so long. Within minutes, Downing Street erupted. Starmer reportedly paced his office, furious, insisting no royal should deny a request from the elected leader of the nation. Staff described the Prime Minister as red-faced and trembling with a mixture of anger and disbelief. Witnesses reported raised voices, slammed desks, and hurried phone calls. One staffer later described the scene as radioactive, saying that even experienced civil servants were shocked at the intensity of the reaction. The Prime Minister's fury reflected a deeper fear, the realization that his authority could be openly questioned, and that the monarchy could act independently in a way that directly undermined his political agenda. And it didn't stop there. Senior ministers were pulled into the fray, leading to private shouting matches, urgent conferences, and frantic attempts to control the narrative. Within hours, leaks reached the national press. The Guardian broke the story, amplifying the crisis and forcing the public to confront the unprecedented confrontation. Social media ignited, with millions rallying behind Prince William, framing him as a protector of constitutional stability. Hashtags such as #StandWithWilliam and #ProtectTheCrown trended across platforms, amplifying public pressure on Starmer. Citizens debated online, discussing whether the Prime Minister had overstepped his bounds, while political commentators speculated that this could mark a turning point in British history. Behind the headlines, the crisis revealed a deeper societal tension: the government's handling of pressing social issues. Citizens were reminded that homelessness, veteran poverty, and rising living costs were worsening while political battles raged. Stories of former soldiers living in tents, families waiting years for housing, and public services under strain circulated widely. Many Britons asked, why pressure the future king on politically charged legislation when the government itself was failing to protect the most vulnerable? For the public, the prince's refusal became a symbol of moral authority, standing in stark contrast to a government perceived as detached from the people's needs. Prince William's refusal resonated because it symbolized a broader principle: the need for integrity and impartiality at the highest levels of national leadership. It wasn't just a personal decision, it was a statement about what the monarchy represents in a modern democracy. By upholding centuries of precedent, William reminded the nation that the monarchy's power is symbolic, moral, and stabilizing. For many citizens, this was a moment of reassurance amid political chaos. It demonstrated that the crown could act as a safeguard against political overreach, ensuring continuity and stability even as elected leaders faltered. Senior royal insiders claim King Charles was briefed early on, and what happened next stunned palace observers. At a private meeting, Charles reportedly defended William's actions entirely. He reminded officials that the monarchy's neutrality is sacrosanct and cannot be compromised for short-term political gain. Witnesses described the king as calm, precise, and unwavering, emphasizing that anyone attempting to pressure the crown would face institutional resistance. For the monarchy, this was more than protocol, it was a defining moment to protect centuries of constitutional tradition. Charles's intervention reinforced the idea that the monarchy is not merely ceremonial but a guardian of national stability. As the crisis deepened, international markets reacted violently. The pound fell nearly 2% against the dollar within hours, and billions of pounds evaporated from the FTSE. Analysts warned that political instability combined with a constitutional clash created unprecedented uncertainty, shaking investor confidence. Financial institutions labeled Britain a high-risk environment, comparing the situation to the days following the Brexit vote. Investment decisions froze, international confidence wavered, and global observers watched closely, realizing that Britain's political and constitutional equilibrium was under stress for the first time in decades. Meanwhile, the British public mobilized in ways that political strategists had not anticipated. Thousands marched in cities across the nation: London, Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds, and Glasgow, demonstrating not just support for the monarchy, but frustration with political mismanagement. Chants of "Hands off William" and "Protect the Crown" filled the streets. Families, veterans, and students joined protests, creating a visible national statement. For many citizens, this wasn't a political movement but a defense of values, traditions, and institutional respect. Social media amplified these protests, creating a national conversation that no government communication strategy could suppress. The crisis also revealed internal fractures within the Labour Party. Cabinet members and MPs began questioning Starmer's strategy, expressing alarm at the public and political consequences. Donors and party elders signaled discomfort with his approach. Leaked WhatsApp messages revealed that contingency plans were already being discussed to protect Labour's political survival. Discussions about potential leadership challenges, timing of votes, and strategies to restore confidence were already circulating, evidence that the Prime Minister's authority was eroding from within, even as he faced external pressure from both the monarchy and the public. A leaked document, allegedly titled Operation Crown Modernization, emerged as the most explosive revelation. It suggested plans to reduce royal authority over financial and ceremonial matters, with the government potentially gaining oversight over key royal decisions. The document reportedly predated the current crisis, implying that Starmer's confrontation may have been premeditated. Political analysts debated whether this was a bold attempt to modernize governance or a dangerous miscalculation. Either way, the public reaction was swift, widespread, and overwhelmingly critical, reinforcing the perception that the government was attempting to manipulate or co-opt the monarchy for political ends. Opposition parties quickly seized the opportunity. Nigel Farage and Reform UK emerged as vocal critics, positioning themselves as defenders of tradition and constitutional stability. Farage's rallies, often featuring Union Jacks and veterans, created powerful imagery that contrasted sharply with Labour's perceived arrogance. Polling showed Reform UK surging in support, threatening Labour in multiple constituencies. For the first time in decades, a third party appeared capable of challenging the established political order, fueled directly by the Prime Minister's missteps and the monarchy's steadfastness. The Prime Minister's public appearances reflected the mounting pressure. Observers noted his tense posture, trembling hands, and clipped speech. Cabinet insiders described a man under siege, attempting to maintain authority while losing control of both public perception and internal party confidence. Emergency meetings, private calls, and strategic debates filled Westminster's corridors as Labour scrambled to respond to a crisis that had quickly escalated from a political disagreement to a national constitutional confrontation. Now, Britain stands at a historic crossroads. The monarchy has asserted its independence and moral authority. The Prime Minister faces mounting political, social, and economic pressure. Public trust is fracturing, protests are growing, and opposition parties are gaining momentum. In the coming days, emergency parliamentary sessions, votes of no confidence, and strategic maneuvering will determine whether the government survives or collapses. The eyes of the world are watching. And at the center of it all, Prince William remains calm, resolute, and more respected than ever, a symbol of stability in a nation grappling with an unprecedented crisis. The next 72 hours are critical. Will the Prime Minister compromise, or will the confrontation escalate further? Could Britain witness a fundamental redefinition of its constitutional system? And what will the legacy of this royal crisis be for future leaders and monarchs? History will remember this moment, when tradition met political ambition, and the nation held its breath as a prince refused a prime minister. If this story shocked you, share this video, let your voice be heard, and make sure you're subscribed, because the final chapter of this royal crisis is only just beginning.